Hey guys, it's Scotty. I just wanted to share some success I've had with an army, trying to get as much DE as possible. I've been focusing on getting my heroes up. I want to get them to 30-30 as quick as possible. So I've been toying around with different DE armies. I'm not really too happy with the other options, so I was HeQueeNion to me takes a little too long and kind of uses too many minions, but Cheap Arch I can't always get the DE and I'm pretty dependent on spells and heroes. So I saw a video and have been messing around with this Queen Healer strategy. A couple weeks of doing it. Last week I farmed over 450k DE and I did a few boosts, but it's not like I was on 8 hours a day. This week I really maybe one boost every day. 2 or 3 boosts total in the week. I'm already over 200k. I'm just farming intermittently. So I wanted to kind of share what I've learned and how I do this army. I would recommend, if you want to try this, you only try it with a level 20 queen or higher. Anything below that, she just is pretty fragile, and the killer of the army is losing your queen. You lose your queen in this army, even if she's boosted, you're usually still waiting 15-20 minutes and wasting pretty valuable boost time, or else you're forced to gem her awake, and it is expensive. So a couple preliminary tips, I guess. If you're about to start a boost and you want to cook an army before you do, this is how I would start. 10 healers, 8 wall breakers, 32 minions. You can use Barch. All the minions are 4 years to clear the buildings in the side you want to go in at the DE at. I know some people gripe about using DE to collect DE, but I prefer using minions just because of the time you're saving between cooks. You can use a dark barracks and not have to wait even longer cooking the Barch in your barracks, which are already cooking healers. I cook 10 healers to start. In any given attack, I usually use only 8. Some attacks you will need to use those other 2 healers, but for the most part, you can get away with just 8. The idea being there is when you're cooking between your boosts, you can set it up so you just have 2 cooking in each, and if you want to cook your minions, you cook 6 and 26 in your boosted barracks. It gives you 32. That presumes you're not using your wall breakers. Even if you do, you just can add a few on pretty quick at the end after the boost. But so what I'll do is I usually cook the 2 and plan for that second one so that I can get started. So I'll do 4, and I think my army's just about ready, so I'll do a raid here in a minute. But a couple notes: you don't really need your king in this army. If you do use him, do not use him by the queen. He almost always pulls the healers off and your queen dies, and it's annoying. So you can use him to clear other side of the base or start out the attack with him and let him die, but don't use him by your queen. Other tips here, I guess: clan castle troops, use ones that are not going to draw healers. I use hogs, wizards, anything that die quick, unlikely to pull the queen. You don't use your clan castle very much, so it's not really that important. Spells. Now if you have a 20 or so queen, I'd recommend either rages, jumps, anything to help your queen. For me, I have 30 queens, so I don't have any trouble getting through walls, and that's the killer of this attack, is the time she spends shooting walls, and she's kind of unpredictable in whether she gets to the DE. So sometimes you're not getting to the DE until the last 30 seconds or so, but usually it's pretty dependable. For me, I know people don't like this. I use zaps. I cook them just because I'm all about just getting maximum DE. I think it's the most efficient way is to have these zaps and use them between raids. Just another boost every 30 minutes. You can cook a full set. I recommend using them before you get the full set cooked, and I recommend using them on Town Hall 10s with Inferno Towers that you would be unlikely to attack with the Queen Healer. Avoid Inferno Towers. They will murder your queen. The healers do not heal your queen over the Inferno, and that can really wreck you. Beyond that, things to watch out for: CC troops can be a pain sometimes. It really depends on what it is. Max P.E.K.K.A. is probably the worst case scenario. You can kill him, you just have to be very careful. Lower level queen, you have to be extremely careful because Max P.E.K.K.A. can pretty much KO your queen in no more than 2 hits. So beyond that, archers and barbarians, full sets of those can be annoying. It's another reason to carry a zap just for CC troops if you don't want to zap DE. But I recommend, if you can save your queen ability, good. If you need to use the zap or the ability, do it. Don't lose your queen over it. But I found that even a full load of archers, if you kind of wait a little bit till she's hurting, you can cloak her and she gets rehealed even under cloak and takes out the rest of the CC. It's just a matter of the time it takes for her to shoot 30 troops. Beyond that, it's just kind of a matter of making sure you stick to the plan. Do not go for big loot bases. I know it's tempting. If you're really serious about getting DE, you gotta next them. I would say, I mean, not to say that I'm not going to take a million combined resource raid, but 300 is pretty common. But if you're doing that, you still probably want to have at least 1500 DE. Otherwise, it's just going to kill the efficiency of this attack. I set my minimums at about 18 or 1900 for Town Hall 8, 2000 for Town Hall 9. So here's a good example. And so thinking about this, you want to try to figure out the side that the queen's most likely to go in on. You can see as an exposed air defense in the south, so it might be an advantage there to avoid that. But the idea is here to take your minions and clear the side that you want to go in on. The blower over here is faced pretty stupid and not going to do anything, so that was dumb on his part. But so I'll go directly at the queen just for an example to see kind of how much damage the queen can take. So I mean, you start out and you just kind of drop some minions to clear. This is just so that the queen goes in instead of around. Kind of let them do their thing. I immediately drop my 8 healers. I don't like messing around and trying to save them. You're cooking 4 sets of 2. It's 7.5 minutes. There's no point in saving healers. All you do is end up with unbalanced army camps. So this is a pretty easy way to keep it balanced, is just use 8. Sometimes you'll need to use those other 2, but most of the time you don't. Here, wall breakers again. Lower level queen, you might need to use them a little bit more frequently. I rarely use my wall breakers. It's just a matter of I don't want to spend more time cooking the troops than I absolutely have to. I'm a little nervous here because you can see she's starting to go to the left, so I try to save my CC troops for here. In this instance where, alright, I'm worried she's going to go left, so I'm going to use my minions just to make sure it's extra safe that she's going to go in and not around, I hope. You're usually waiting and waiting and waiting in this attack. You can see the queen's starting to take a little damage, and that's okay, it's pretty normal. But you got to be careful of the lower level queen you're using this with before she gets down. For me, and for instance, I mean, it's like 70 gems to gem her back awake if I lose her, so it's got to be kind of careful. So usually what I'll do is I'll wait for her to get in, and once she starts getting close to or popping the DE, I'll just use her ability to make it more efficient, get the archers out. But so this is a pretty standard base. People love to protect their DE. I'd say it's 50-50 on CC troops. It's a pretty high percentage in farming because people are, the bases you're trying to find with this are people who are going to try to be protecting their DE. So I mean, you see queen's still full health, still have a minute left. This is relatively good, and I kind of look now to see if there's any other storages that she might get. And your army's cooking anyway, so I figure you can ride it out. Just don't do this and let your queen die for no reason. I've done that a few times. I've lost my queen a lot of different ways, so I'm trying to help you guys not do that and save you some gems. But overall, I've had a lot of success with this. It's just a matter, see here, I'm starting to lose the queen, so I just bail out. If you think you're going to need your healers, don't wait until your queen's too low of health. They won't get in there in time to heal her, and then you've lost your queen and wasted healers. So that's the general strategy. I've had very good luck. I hope this video helps and kind of explains what I've been doing. And good luck. Feel free to ask me any questions in game, and go out and get that DE.